Miss Lindsay, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite book-to-movie adaptations, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs by Judi Barrett. Have you ever heard of a town called Chew and Swallow, where hamburgers and hot dogs and mashed potatoes and pancakes fall from the sky like weather? Well, in this story, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, you will learn all about this town and its residents who carry plates in their hands to catch their food when it rains down from the sky. Oh my goodness. Whew. But after you read the story, you have to check out the movie. So, the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movie stars Flint Lockwood, an eccentric inventor who accidentally creates a machine that turns the weather into food. But this book and this movie have one thing in common. What happens when the weather gets out of control? Read this story, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, to find out.
Hi, I'm Katie Jane, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite books since I was a child. It's called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst. This is a book I remember my mom reading to me over and over and over, and my sister and I were both obsessed with how terrible this boy's day was. But we also knew that no matter how bad a day is, tomorrow is definitely going to be better. Maybe it'll even be the best day. Well, this book prompted a movie not that many years ago. The movie's also called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And the movie, at the beginning, it follows this book almost exactly about this terrible day that Alexander has. But his family doesn't seem to understand what kind of day he's having until the next day, when every other person has their terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. So this is a great way to start, and if you want to see even more of this hilarious story, you can watch the movie Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Hi guys, Miss Annabeth here. Now I am going to tell you about a very special book that I love very much, and I'm so glad it got turned into a movie just recently, and that is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Now this book is a story about a boy named Augie. Now Augie is just like your normal fifth grader. He loves Star Wars and playing with his dog and hanging out with his friends and his family, and he really loves space. And so he's just a typical kid, except for how he looks. Augie was born with several facial deformities that led to other kind of medical issues, and after several medical procedures to try and help Augie, he is still left with a face that looks a little bit different than your typical boy. So when he becomes a fifth grader, he's been homeschooled his whole life, he decides that he wants to go to school with other kids. Now, his family's nervous, he's nervous, but he decides this is something that he really wants to do with his life. And so he goes to school, and this book revolves around how Augie feels about starting school with other kids, the kids and how they respond to Augie being a new student at their school, and Augie's family as they're also dealing with Augie's new turn in life. So this is a wonderful book that you must read, and only after you read it should you go watch the movie Wonder.
Hi, I'm Miss Tracy, and one of my very favorite movies of all times is Mary Poppins. But until recently I had never read the book Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. And for those of you who don't know Mary Poppins, she is the much-loved nanny of Jane and Michael Banks. Now, every day with Mary Poppins is an adventure. And while she does take Jane and Michael on some actual magical adventures, she also makes boring and unpleasant tasks like taking your medicine or cleaning your room fun. I really enjoyed reading the book because it was fun to read about some of my favorite scenes from the movie. But there are a lot of adventures that didn't even make it into the movie, and those were fun to read about too. Like the time Mary Poppins took Jane and Michael shopping for gingerbread at a store that doesn't even exist. Or the time Jane and Michael got to help a star, yes, an actual star, who came to Earth in the form of a little girl, shop for Christmas presents. Or the time they attended an after-hours birthday party at the zoo. And there was plenty of magical fun at that birthday party, but I'm not going to tell you about it, or even whose birthday party it was. You'll have to read the book to find that out. Also in the book, Jane and Michael have younger siblings who are twins. and they're still young enough to speak the language of sunshine and wind and birds. And as it turns out, one of my favorite chapters features the twins and the conversations they had every morning with a bird who lived outside their window. So, even if you've seen the movie, I highly recommend that you check out the book, Mary Poppins, by P.L. Travers.
Hi, I'm Miss Wendy, and I'm going to tell you about Ella Enchanted by Gail, Carson, Levine. At birth, Ella was cursed by a fairy named Lucinda, who gives her the gift of obedience. Anything anyone tells her to do, Ella must obey. Another girl might have been intimidated, but not Ella. Instead of making her docile, Lucinda's curse made her a rebel. Or perhaps it was just how Ella was naturally. When her mother dies unexpectedly, Ella is left with her father and her very mean stepmother and cruel stepsisters. Ella's life starts to seem like it's in grave peril, so she sets out on a quest for freedom and self-discovery. Trying to track down Lucinda to undo the curse, she has to fend for herself by ogres, but she befriends elves, and of course she meets a prince along the way. Yes, there's pumpkin coaches, glass slippers, and a happily ever after, but this may be the most remarkable, delightful, and perceptive version of Cinderella you will ever read. And this is Ella Enchanted by Gail, Carson, Levine.
Hey everyone, I'm Miss Laura, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite books, which is also an incredible movie called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is the second book in the Chronicles of Narnia series written by C.S. Lewis. So in this book, there are 4 children who have to go stay in a house in the country because there's a war, so they have to stay there in order to be safe. Now when they're walking around the house, they discover a magical wardrobe that when they go inside, it takes them to this magical land called Narnia. Now Narnia is being ruled by an evil white witch who has put a spell on Narnia and made it winter for 100 years. But there's a prophecy that states that 4 children will defeat the white witch and free Narnia from the endless winter. So with the help of Aslan, a talking lion who is the true king of Narnia, and other talking creatures, the 4 children will attempt to defeat the white witch and save Narnia. Now this book is an amazing tale of courage and bravery, and the movie does an incredible job at bringing that story to life.
Hi, I'm Miss Kaylin, and I'm here to tell you about Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. This book is about a 16-year-old named Simon, and Simon is just a regular high school kid. He loves Oreos, Waffle House, and participating in the school's musical with his friends. But when Simon sees a post on his school's unofficial Tumblr page from a classmate admitting he feels out of place at the school because he has a secret, no one knows he's gay. Simon realizes they have something in common, because just like that anonymous poster, no one in Simon's family or friends knows that he is gay too. So Simon takes a leap of faith and emails the secret poster, who goes by the name of Blue, and they begin an anonymous email friendship. And as their emails get more and more flirtatious, it isn't long before Simon's feelings for Blue are in full swing, which leads Simon to begin a guessing game of trying to figure out who in the school is Blue's true identity. But things take a turn for the worse when his emails end up in the wrong hands, and a classmate begins blackmailing Simon to convince his best friend Leah to date him. Otherwise, he is at risk of being outed to the entire school. And not only that, Blue's identity is also at risk, and the trust that the two have established through their conversations. Now it's up to Simon to step out of his comfort zone and find a way to fix everything without alienating his friends, compromising himself, or screwing up his chance at love. Will Simon save himself and Blue from being outed to the entire school? Who is Blue, anyways? And will he finally find love and happiness in the end? The only way to find out is to read the book, Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and then go see the movie Love, Simon.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm here to tell you about the book by Jenny Han that's To All the Boys I've Loved Before. For those of you who have not heard about To All the Boys I've Loved Before, let me give you a little piece of the story. Laura Jean Song is a 16-year-old girl who keeps love letters in a hat box that her mother gave her. But these are not love letters that she was given. They are ones that she has written to her past crushes. When she writes, she holds nothing back about how she really feels, and things that she would never say in real life are in these letters. And they are never meant to be read by anyone but her. Until one day, her letters accidentally get mailed, and suddenly Laura Jean has 5 boys who know her true feelings, and things get a little crazy. So, do you watch the movie or read the book? My vote is both. The movie is a great summary of this sweet story, while the book lets you see more into the relationships of Laura Jean's family and friends.
Hello everybody, I'm Miss Emma, and I'm going to be talking about Ender's Game today. Ender's Game is by Orson Scott Card, and it is a thrilling YA science fiction tale about a boy named Ender who is recruited by the military to fight the buggers. The buggers are the alien species that has invaded Earth twice before and are coming back again. When Ender gets to battle school, he quickly moves up the ranks even though he's so young, and he gets bullied for it. But luckily, he makes some really good friends along the way that help him out. But Ender knows that the military is watching him super closely, but he's totally unaware of all of the things they're changing about the program to put him to the ultimate test to make sure he's ready to fight the buggers. I'm not going to say any more because this is not a book you want spoiled, but this book has one of the biggest plot twists I've ever read in a book, so be prepared. And if you like the book, the movie is fantastic too. It stars Asa Butterfield and Harrison Ford, and it's a great depiction of the movie, and it really brings the characters to life. So if you're a big science fiction or Harrison Ford fan, I recommend the book and the movie.